All right, let's jump right in. There is a massive revolution happening in technology as we speak, and it's all being powered by something called cloud data science. We're going to unpack what that actually is, why it's such a huge deal, and how it is fundamentally rewriting the rules for how business gets done. To really wrap our heads around this, let's start with a really powerful analogy. A few years back, The Economist famously declared that the world's most valuable resource is no longer oil, it's data. I mean, think about it. The economic giants of today, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, they aren't running on petroleum. They're all fueled by data. And you know what? This analogy is spot on. Just like crude oil fresh out of the ground, raw data isn't really valuable on its own. You can't just pour it into your company and expect magic to happen. It needs a refinery. It has to be processed to unlock its potential. And for data, that refinery is data science. Okay, so if data science is our refinery, what's actually going on inside? What's the process? Well, to get it, we've got to break down some of the jargon you probably hear thrown around all the time. So at its core, data science is all about one thing: finding real, useful insights in the crazy huge amount of information we're creating every single day. It's literally the process of turning that raw, digital crude oil into high-octane fuel for making smart decisions. Right, and you can't really talk about data science these days without bringing up AI. Just think of artificial intelligence as the big picture idea. It's the ultimate goal, right? The grand vision of making smart machines that can think and solve problems, kind of like we do. So if AI is the dream, then machine learning, or ML, is the engine that makes it happen. It's a specific part of AI where you feed algorithms a ton of data and they just learn from it. They start spotting patterns, finding weird anomalies, and making predictions. And the amazing part? The more data they see, the smarter they get. You see this every day. That Netflix recommendation engine that knows you better than you know yourself? Yep, that's ML at work, predicting with almost spooky accuracy what you're going to binge watch next. And if we zoom in even further, we get to deep learning. This is like machine learning on steroids. It uses these really complex setups called neural networks, which are kind of modeled after our own brains, to chew through the absolute gnarliest, most massive data sets you can possibly imagine. So here's the big takeaway, the really critical shift here. Old school business intelligence, or BI, was basically just a rearview mirror for your company. It was great at telling you what happened last quarter. But data science, that's like having a GPS and a co-pilot. It's looking forward, it's predictive, asking, okay, what's gonna happen next? And it's even prescriptive, telling you, and here's what you should do about it. But all of this amazing predictive power, it needs a monster of an engine to run. And in the past, that was a huge, huge roadblock. But today, that engine is the cloud data platform. And honestly, it changes the entire game. Look, modern data science is just insatiable. It's hungry for two things: unbelievable amounts of storage and jaw-dropping amounts of computing power. Not too long ago, trying to own and maintain all that hardware yourself was basically impossible unless you were a giant corporation. The cloud blew that wide open. It totally democratized access, giving pretty much anyone near infinite resources on a pay-for-what-you-use basis. It's a game changer. And trust me, businesses need every bit of that power because they are drowning in data. It's a tidal wave coming from apps, from sensors, from social media, you name it. And without the right setup, all that valuable data just gets stuck in these little pockets all over the company. You know, finance has their data over here, marketing has theirs over there, and they never talk to each other. It's total chaos, creating these data silos that are just killer for progress. So how do you fix that? The solution is a unified cloud data platform. Think of it as the great unifier. It smashes down those silos and gives everyone a single trusted source of truth. Suddenly, security and governance are all in one place. You can scale up or down without giant maintenance headaches, and most importantly, all your teams can finally work together on the same data, which just makes everything move so much faster. Still not convinced how valuable this unified data is? Okay, get this. A little while back, when United and American Airlines needed to get loans, and we're talking billions of dollars, what did they use for collateral? Not their planes. Nope. They used their customer loyalty data. And an independent valuation found that the data was worth more than all of their physical airplanes combined. Let that sink in for a second. That's the moment you realize, okay, data isn't just a byproduct anymore. It's a core asset. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do you turn a mountain of raw data into those valuable predictions? Well, it's not some kind of dark art or magic. It's actually a pretty clear, repeatable process. First things first, you have to start with a real business problem you're trying to solve. Then you go out and gather up all the data you need. The next step is huge. You have to clean and prepare that data. Because you've heard it before, garbage in, garbage out. It's absolutely true here. After that, the fun starts. You train and test a bunch of different models to see which one is the best predictor. Once you have a winner, you deploy it. You put it out into the real world to start doing its job. But you're not done. You have to keep an eye on it, monitoring for something called model drift. That's when the real world changes and your model's predictions start to get a little less accurate. That's your signal that it's time to retrain it with new data. So it's really a continuous loop. All right, enough with the theory. Let's get to the good stuff. How is all of this actually changing the world? Let's look at some real-world examples of how data science is making a huge impact right now. Okay, check this out. Pacific Life. They're using it to completely personalize how they talk to customers and even predict how many staff they'll need in the future. Over in the energy sector, Uniper Energy is sifting through huge amounts of market data to get a critical edge in their trading. And then you've got a company like Harmony in finance. They're using machine learning to figure out loan risk way more accurately and more fairly. And in that business, even a tiny little improvement in accuracy can mean millions and millions of dollars. So, if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Cloud data science is the engine that lets a business finally stop looking in the rearview mirror, just describing what already happened. It lets them look ahead, through the windshield, to start actively predicting and even shaping what's coming next. And that really brings us to a final thought, a question for you. These incredible tools are more accessible than they have ever been. So think about the data that's all around you, in your job, in your hobbies, in your daily life. What kind of hidden patterns are just sitting there waiting to be discovered? What amazing new possibilities could you unlock if you just took a deeper dive?